this is going to be about the dollar versus the yen. So I get this chart, and it's claimed to be based on the entry strategy of the liquidity that exists beyond the breakout points. So the way I see it is, if that was true, you'd have to put your order at the tippy top. This is the daily chart. Another place to put a sell limit would be here. So you're literally selling on the edgy edge, and you're getting out at the edge. So that's your trading edge. And that's the edge of the market entry. Here, if you had the perfect, if you drew a trend line here, you're getting in at the edge of that trend line, right at the, it's a very narrow window. So I would totally be out of this trade right now. But I asked him in the last video about this, and he said, well, that he has patience. And so I thought that was amazing, because I don't. So maybe that's why I can't see this trade. But I would say if I was going to trade this style, I would definitely not try to scalp within the same account. I wouldn't accidentally unload this position. If you were looking for this to play out, he said, oh, yes, it is the weekly. And I'm looking. So now he changed the time frame on me, although he sent me the chart of the daily. So that threw me off a little bit. And so, yeah, patience is the key. Okay, well, reality is the key, too. I guess this is where it comes down to the stuff where people do that insurance pricing, and you see these models, and like there's a, it's not just a risk to reward ratio, although the ratios here are greedy as all can be. That's another thing. You just have to kind of see where somebody's coming from as far as what they're thinking is possible in the Forex market or any market. When people say the Forex market, it'd be any market. The likelihood is, after a big giant psychedelic move like this, something that's just like right out of Don't Short the Market Weekly or Monthly, that magazine, that there's after you fill this thing up, if you could make it back through this log jam down to here, that would be absolutely amazing. I mean, more likely it's going to go up here. But this is where it comes down to what you can tolerate as far as tying up capital in a, tying up margin in a trade that's not, is it paying off for what it, who makes more money? The guy that sells here and he buys back here and he's done with the trade. It's over. Bash. He doesn't sit through this and lock up margin thinking, well, my real target's down here or my real target's up here. When I see a move like this, I'm just thinking, for the love of Pete, let me buy here and let me just get out here. And even if I leave all that on the table, don't forget that's a month of just, you know, if your targets are set to 350 pips or whatever this is, 500 pips, winner here, it had to be a demo for me. If it was real money, I would just have to close the books on that. I would just literally go to a different account. I wouldn't even want to think about accidentally getting out of these positions. How could you trade around these positions on the same platform in the same account? So to be realistic for myself, it would have to be, I don't know, everybody has a threshold for pain. I mean, that's why we have automatic coffee machines, I guess, because we don't want to sit here and throw on a log on the fire and try to get the party started. Here is the, just to make coffee, you know, like around the campfire. Go back to wipe out years of knowledge. Go back to caveman tactics. But yeah, this target here, that's below those two tops. So it's on the daily, it's here on his chart. You got to be kidding me. 1,000 pip? I don't know. It was it's ridiculous, right? You really should have been. I mean, if it's a daily ATM, now he's claiming that ATM entry is the liquidity entry. But look how many other 1-day, 2-day bangers are in here. So I don't know at what point, if your original sell was up in here, then I get it. This is a great trade, right? This is how you would trade the edge of the market. So if you're really on the edge, you're looking for this vestibule up here. You've got this wick hole forming. Then they pop it up and they fill all your sell limits. You've got sell limits here on every high. Okay, everyone gets one. You don't just put one order up there. So you got that right. You put a bunch of orders in. But for the love of fucking Pete, when it comes below here, you want to pretty much dump almost half of what you bought. Or what's the point? If you know there's liquidity here like you can't fucking believe, all the way to the body of that doji. So if you're going to do candlestick trading, for God's sakes, you're going to have to even trade more. Now you're really going to trade because you put orders on the open and the close. So it looks like candlesticks trade's not going away, just like Christmas. So here's how you would trade it with candlesticks, and this is a bad broker to example because Sunday night is this baby candle. But if you bracket the open and the close, so you're going to buy off the open. Your limit's sitting on the open to get out. It's a revolving door. This says, I'm selling, it's coming down to here. Regardless of how you got into this trade, and you really should have had the orders on the edge there, but maybe you got in late. And maybe some of these, like I don't even know how, right? Maybe they're market orders. It'd be funny to, well, psychologically, if somebody handed this to you and said, it was in a will, say it was in one of these movies where you get this bizarre will, and it says in the will, I think there was a movie like that with this chick that she inherited a bunch of money, but she was blonde or something, and she had to figure out what to do and manage this stuff, and she had to have Thurston drive the limo. But imagine a Forex movie where you're inherited a bunch of open positions without stops, but to take profits in there, and the guy that died, you're thinking, God, he was such a good trader. Should I leave those targets? Or no, you would get out of that position entirely differently than if you were the one that created that position. I can't imagine you wouldn't have a bias as far as the fact that you didn't open these positions, so therefore, should I let them play out and just que sera? Or should I take the money and run because I don't know anything about Forex trading, or I don't know enough to know what that guy knew, and if I got into this, I wouldn't even have got into a trade like this. I mean, to wear somebody else's bad trade, right? So if you showed up, and I don't know if you ever, a friend of mine came to bail somebody out of a trade once. He was on the wrong side of the market, and he was just severely down, and I guess he was telling the guy, hey, just dump what you're in now because I know how to trade small and rebuild your account. So just get out of everything you're in, and we'll start over. And the guy was now that's where you just hold on because this is the all of these cliches backfire. So plan your trade your plan, even if it means you have to traffic your wife in some hooker ring and those kind of things. So But it's the first thing I think of when I see it. I see unrealistic targets when I look at the chart. But you know, who's to say, right? Given enough, given 6 months from now, yeah. But you have to show some respect to the people that's bought here, right? Or that they sold here. The recent sell when they sold here, because they go, that's the top. That's the top. It's going to come back here. They they covered here, and more buying. Well, the people that sold here, when it comes back up there, they're going to have to buy it back. When a market really takes off, these people they've got to sell. They don't have a choice. Besides, you're going into uncharted water. But this water's been charted up here pretty good. Yeah, this thing's going up. The last thing is going up, but how often do you want to go in and out of the market? This looks like you're going to hold that for about 6 months. You'd already be long here. You're getting out right now because you're at these bodies. So it's body to body, wick to wick. I mean, heartache to heartache. You just have to accept the fact the market's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's trapped. It's trapped in a bad relationship. Here comes zero, smashing down below the 100-yard line. Beautiful. Yeah, it's a range trader's dream. It may look like some glorious move, but look at, here's the edge entry. Look at this stuff. Your limits sitting at the bodies. You have buy limits below the body. You buy the wick. That's all you get. This is double staircase all day. Look at not one look back. Just rip your face off. That's a daily. You have to go to the wicks, the pullback wicks on the 4-hour for sure. But yeah, this thing could be going sideways for the next 3 years. You're never going to see those targets. Like, really? All the way back down there? Man, it's a lot of road. It's a lot of road to cover. Let's say, look at the 1 hour. Hell, you'd be like in and out of this thing like crazy. It's a million trades in here. God, what a mess. Look at this 1 hour chart. So you're looking for small bodies to place your limit. You probably have to hand place them all here, but you put your buy limits in the body. The smallest bodies you can find. Those are your pivots. So here's a small body right here. That's where your sell limit would have gone. You're not going to get filled on every ticket, but pack them in there. You'd be surprised once you stretch this out. You can fit quite a... Here we go. So we're going up. Let's pull back in the oscillator. CCI 4-period on close here. Trying to build a robot once. I was telling it only take trades when you're below. So I would have bought here and got crushed. Here's a beautiful sell, sell, sell. Or if you just filter it, I only take setups with this is a hard filter. Those are buys. Get 1 sell, 2 sell, but that's actually a reversal. If you use the reversal theory, this is in the small body. Okay, they're crushing the euro again. What a surprise. So, the once this thing fills up this cavity here, look out. So, there's the doji. Here's your first sell limit. But yeah, this thing, unfortunately, it's going up if you're trying to sell that. It's choppy. It's great. It's oversold here on the weekly. It says buy. Daily, it's too late to buy. You had these. This is a pretty harsh filter here. You don't take a lot of trades on this system. This will outperform any robot. He'll just buy here. You bought here and you bought here. And you're holding. No stop. 4 buys. If you're still holding these from a month, now that's long-term trading, accumulation. It just pulling the trigger on that day. The day it's below there is your entry. Can you imagine? Okay, we're putting 1 million orders in here now. The British pound's going through the floor again. Retest the round number. So, and there's no stop on this. So, you'd have to close the books on that and do the math and let the account blow up or wait till 6 months from now and make whatever size you're trading there and what it is.